mentalities and their performances throughout their career at Eastern Michigan. Very excited to be here tonight to celebrate the induction of 5 very worthy and extraordinary EMU greats, as well as recognize our Ron Ostrike Distinguished Service Award recipient. The Athletic Hall of Fame has a 44-year history and inducting over 280 former student athletes, and we're excited to have some of the current Hall of Famers with us here tonight. So please help me in welcoming back these individuals in the Parade of Hall of Fame members. Let's start first with the class of 1985, John Banaszak, football. And the class of 2004, Jim Streeter, former Sports Information Director extraordinaire. From the class of 2010, Hilbert Lewis, track and football. From the class of 2011, Howard Booth, gymnastics, cheerleading, and track. From the class of 2012, Sharon Schwartz, women's basketball. From the class of 2014, Fred LaPlante, track. And from the class of 2017, Bill DeLuke, football. Duloc, pardon me, I apologize. Bill Duloc. From the class of 2017, Walter Church, football. That's it for this amazing group who is here with us tonight to celebrate this event. Also this time, I'd like to recognize some of the former recipients of the Ron Ostrike Distinguished Service Award that are with us here tonight. Ed Mazinski. Jim Streeter. Ken Beamer. And Eric Walling. Thank you all for being here. Before we continue with tonight's introduction, it's also important to recognize very key contributors and special guests that are in attendance with us here tonight. We'll start first with the chairman of the board, Mr. Jim Webb. The president, Dr. James Smith, and Dr. Connie Rule Smith, his wife. Vice President and Director of Intercollegiate Athletics, Scott Weatherby. Vice President and Secretary to the Board of Regents, Vicki Rayoum. Vice President for Advancement and Executive Director of the EMU Foundation, Bill Shepard. Vice President of University Communications, Walter Kraft. And the former United States Secretary of Transportation and proud EMU football letterman, Rodney Slater. And also EMU Hall of Famer, which we're going to get to in a moment. Next, I'd like to introduce the leader of a real special group that's more passionate about Eastern Michigan athletics than any group I know. He's an EMU Hall of Fame member and a current E-Club president, Mr. Hilbert Lewis.
Thank you, and good evening. I need a teleprompter, so that's why I have notes. Okay. First of all, I'd like to let you know it's a pleasure and honor for me to be here tonight And now we'll continue with the presentations. Good evening. The E-Club is always proud to present the Hall of Fame induction ceremonies and honor tonight's inductees. The E-Club Alumni Chapter is chartered by the EMU Alumni Association and is made up of former letter winners with the support of the university and athletics department by promoting and preserving the tradition, pride, and loyalty among all letter winners of this university. And as you can see, having gathered here tonight, the E-Club celebrates athletic success through the E-Club Athletic Hall of Fame. Over the years, we have recognized and honored such talented former student athletes, and this class is no exception. As the Hall of Fame grows, it is important to note that we are still in the process of relocating the display, but it will currently be set inside the downstairs hall of the Convocation Center. Also, in addition to the Hall of Fame, the E-Club recognizes the outstanding academic and athletic accomplishments of the current EMU student athletes. Through the YPSI Awards and assists the athletic department in awarding varsity jackets to our first-time letter winners. The E-Club is invested in athletics from both current and former letter winners. At this time, I would like to recognize anyone on the E-Club board who continues to donate their time and support the athletic department. So all E-Club board of directors, please stand at this time and be recognized. Current and former board members. Thank you very much. Thank you. I would also like to thank the Alumni Association Board of Directors who chartered the E-Club. Present, we have Howard Booth and Tom Charbonneau. I'm sorry? Charbonneau. In addition, the Alumni Association, I would also like to thank the Office of Alumni Relations and EMU Athletics for their support of the E-Club and for being true partners in planning the exciting tonight's event. Why am I stuttering here? I don't know. But we are very thankful for their partnership. On behalf of the E-Club and all former letter winners, I would like to congratulate the class of 2019. Tonight, you will join a legendary group of EMU athletes. Thank you for your hard work, inspiration, and accomplishments, which have helped lay the footprints for current and future student athletes. Thank you very much, and enjoy the rest of your evening.
Thank you, Mildred. Our next speaker is Vice President and Director of Intercollegiate Athletics, Scott Weatherby. Scott has been with Eastern Michigan for just over 2 years, but in a short time, he's continued to transform the Eastern Michigan Athletic Department. He's passionate not only about developing our student athletes into champions in their sport, but also champions in the classroom, in the community, and in life. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Athletic Director Scott Weatherby.
Thank you, Chad. What a great Blocky Friday, as we like to call it around here. It was great to get a chance to actually meet the inductees and to see their families and what it means to them. It's just an honor for me to even be a part of this. This is my third Hall of Fame induction ceremony, and it just seems like yesterday that I was just getting on campus and standing on a podium like this, accepting the job. So I want to brag a little bit about our student athletes and tell you a little bit about what's going on right now currently in our athletic department, and then obviously get on to the inductions. But as I look back on the last 2 years, we've had 8 MAC championships. In that time, we had multiple runner-up finishes. I think about opening up our new Student Athlete Performance Center. For those of you that have not been in it, I hope you get an opportunity to get in and see it. One of the first things you'll see is our Champions Atrium. When you walk in, we've won 147 MAC championships at Eastern Michigan, more than any Mid-American Conference school. It's more than any Mid-American Conference school. So we take a lot of pride in it, and you'll see when you walk in, for those that haven't, we have a replica of the MAC championship trophy that is almost 12 feet tall. And it is 6 times the original size, which they're usually about 2 feet. And it has 147 on it. And I can't wait to see who wins 148, because we're going to go up there and twist that thing off and replace it. I've already got 148, 149, and 150 ready to go, right? So we're excited about it. But more importantly, things that we're doing, that we're real excited about what the Performance Center is going to do, and it's a game changer for our student athletes and our coaches, and will help with recruiting, and it's for all of our student athletes. If you see the weight room, it's beautiful, and all of our teams have been able to be in there already. But some of the things we talk about even stronger with them, I guess, our student athletes and our coaches, is what are we doing in the classroom? In this last semester, we had a 3.27 GPA as an overall combined in the classroom, which is just phenomenal. It was the best semester, winter term we've ever had, and I like to brag on our football team just a little bit on this, because they had a 3.04 as 110 guys and getting after it, student athletes. And I've been in this is my 24th year in college athletics, and I've never had a football team with 3.0. So I was always impressed by that, and that helps raise everybody else up as well. So we've done very well in competition. We've done very well in the classroom, and our last C that we talk about in athletics is community. And when I first got here, we were doing about 3,500 community service hours, and I thought that's not too bad, but I challenged them to double it. And so in the last 2 years, we've done over 7,000 community service hours, and our SAC representative said we want to do more, and so they've set the bar at 8,000. And so we're going to continue to get out in the community, and we're not going to ask for anything. We're just going to get out and be involved, so that you want to be a part of us because you see what we're doing in the community. So those 3 areas, we talk about building champions in the classroom, community, and competition, but really what we're doing is building champions for life. We're not all going to the NFL. We got a couple of NFLers in here today. Not everybody's going to the NBA. Not everybody's going to be able to have a chance to go to the Olympics, but we do get some Olympians. But we certainly want them to leave here knowing they got a great education. They learned a lot of leadership, time management skills, and are going to do well in life and then give back and be a part of it. So we're working hard to put out champions, just like the individuals that are being inducted today. Our inductees that I got to meet tonight are truly champions, and we're going to celebrate each one of them tonight. But before we do, I've got to do my due diligence here and say thank you to a few people. What a great setup, and I think the inductees would tell me, would also say this too, that we got to thank Britta Brown for all of her hard work putting this together. Britta's done a great job, and we threw this at her, and I also want to recognize Jessica Netziba. Did I do it right? All right. And so Jessica with the Alumni Association, she used to run it. It's also part of why she's getting an award tonight. But we passed the torch to Britta, and I want to say thank you to Jessica for the help in this. Kathy Steiner and her event planning group, and the rest of the team, all the food, it's excellent, huh? Okay. I'd also like to thank Hildred Lewis and the E-Club Alumni Chapter. They've been great, their support. They take a lot of time. They put a lot of energy. They give back when they can, but what they give back more is of their time and just having a presence and trying to be ambassadors for us. So Hildred, I thank you and your team and the E-Club Chapter. I'm thrilled. I love to welcome the 2019 Hall of Fame class. It's great to be here to celebrate each of your accomplishments. You truly are the best of the best. I love to celebrate events like this that allow us to look back at the history, the tradition of Eastern Michigan, And it is individuals like you that inspire us to be champions every day. As members of the EMU Hall of Fame, you are among the most decorated and accomplished student athletes to ever wear the green and white. You represent class, the pride, the success we ultimately aspire to achieve every day. We talk about you every day to our student athletes. And in this group, we had former captains and record holders, all tournament teams, whether they were MAC champions, both individual and team champions. We have former NFL players that played multiple years. You know, now they can add to that list that they're EMU Hall of Fame members. From the entire athletic department, we say thank you and congratulations to Mike, Stacy, Morris, where's Ron? Ron, Kevin. You know, this night's about you and for you, and I hope you and your guests just have a great time, have a chance to celebrate you, and then you enjoy the game tomorrow as well. And my next job is to introduce our next speaker. Our athletic department is extremely lucky to have a president that is engaged as President Smith is. Dr. Smith and his wife Connie are at a lot of sporting events. And if you are ever out and about and see Connie, don't stand by her because she'll yell and scream more at referees and coaches, and she's outgoing that way, and I love that about her. But I thank you, Connie and President Smith, for your support. It means a lot to me. It means a lot to our student athletes to see you guys out at the games. So it gives me great pleasure to introduce my boss and the president of Eastern Michigan University, Dr. James Smith.
So first of all, I have to say, I am sometimes the quietest person in our box. And those of you who know me, I'm not very quiet. So it does tell you that Scott's telling a true story about our family's desire to win. I was explaining to a former student athlete the other day that if his 6-year-old was playing checkers and I was playing with the 6-year-old, I would expect to win. And he looked at me and he said, well, of course. And I said, well, not everybody looks at the world that way. We certainly want to win, and we want to be as supportive as we can of the green and white. And it's an honor for us to travel around the country and see our young men and young women compete as they do, and then to see what they do academically in the classroom. And Scott mentioned a little bit, we had a 4.0 dinner that was Tuesday of this week, Chairman Webb, and we had a private room in the Detroit Athletic Club, and the room was filled. These are all young men and young women who compete day in, day out, practice day in, day out, and were able to obtain a 4.0 grade point average. The least we can do, those of us who are members of the DAC, was to chip in a few dollars and make sure that they had a great dinner and a great evening downtown. And we ran a little long, and some people missed the kickoff of the Lions game. And those of you who saw the end, it probably was just as good that they missed the beginning. But it was wonderful to be with those young men and young women who have contributed so greatly to the classroom and on the field as well. First and foremost, I need to thank all of you for being here this evening. I need to congratulate the honorees. And as Scott said, it's really an impressive, if you look at each of the bios in the program, it's really an impressive array of talent that we're going to have coming across the stage in just a moment. I need to thank Scott. This is he's in his second full year, but his third year of doing this event, and Scott's done wonderful work. He continues to be a bulldozer, a pile driver, a mover forward of all things athletics. And if you haven't seen the Student Athlete Performance Center, it's probably the best example of how we were able to move a project forward that many people thought would never be able to be done. Also, the hours that Scott mentioned by our students that are put into community services. Some of you know Coach Creighton does a Habitat for Humanity house. We have some young men on the football team that don't know one end of the hammer from the other, and they get together and with a little bit of tutelage, they build a house. They build a house for people that don't have the opportunity to have a house without them doing that. It's just one example. We have young men and young women who are reading in elementary schools where some of the students in the elementary schools don't have a big brother or big sister, don't have a consistent parental figure in their life, and so our student athletes fill that void by going out and reading to those young children and getting them excited about the opportunity to come to college. I do have a couple things. Presidents are kind of paid advertisements. That's what we do. If you have not been around campus today, we don't have a game until night tomorrow, so you have some time. Please take the opportunity to tour campus. If nothing else, I urge you to go by Strong Hall, which was clearly the worst hall on campus until we rehabbed it, and then Sill Hall was the worst on campus, and we're now rehabbing it. Those are both $40 million projects that we're dedicated to make our campus bigger and better. In the case of Strong Hall, a real scientific addition that makes a three-part science complex that's really second to none in the state of Michigan. Sill Hall will be an engineering building. Those of you who remember Sill from your days on campus, it was an industrial arts building. It will truly be an engineering building, and we have just one little section of that building open, and I am amazed at what we're able to do in the transformation of that building. Also, John Donigan's not here with us tonight, but some of you will know Mr. Donigan, our Vice President for Facilities. John is a landscape architect by training, and I think as you go around campus tomorrow, you will see that he is indeed a landscape architect by training. Campus looks beautiful. The green spaces that we've tried to expand, I think, are incredibly impressive. And if you notice a lot of big rocks, that is our joke with John. He loves big rocks. He says that it keeps people from driving on the grass that he loves even more. So you'll see a lot of boulders that are his attempts at giving us what he calls pattern language around campus. So take the opportunity to see campus tomorrow. I wish we had student athletes here with us tonight, but obviously the ballroom is not huge, and if we brought 50 student athletes, well, we could probably move them all the way out to the hallway. But if you get an opportunity tomorrow at the game to interact with some of our students, I think you'll be very impressed. Just a few things on the academic side. Our 6-year graduation rates are up. Many of our students are here longer than 4 years. Some of you know they work 2 or 3 jobs to finish their undergraduate degree. We're proud of the 6-year graduation rate. We've added new degrees in the last year. We are remodeling the Rec IM. The Rec IM was a great facility. Some of you will remember it as new. It was a great facility. For $16.5 million, we think we can make it even greater. And I mentioned this last year, for those of you who are here, those $16.5 million came from students. They literally taxed themselves to have a new Rec IM that was modern and that fit what they thought they needed for fitness and training and the like, and that will open next August. There's at least another page and a half. I always feel bad when I do this. My staff works really hard at this. There's at least another page and a half of details, but you're not here to hear the president tonight. So thank you all for being here. Thank you for support of Eastern Michigan University. Thank you for your support of Eastern Athletics. Go Green. Thank you.
Thank you, President Smith. Appreciate that very much. It's now time to showcase each of tonight's honorees and celebrate their achievements. First up tonight, the Ron Ostrike Distinguished Service Award. In 2008, the E-Club Board announced an award that would be presented to an individual for their outstanding contributions to EMU athletics. And to someone who empathizes the E-Club core values of success: distinction, tradition, recognition, and pride in EMU. This year's recipient is Jessica Netzeba. Jessica came to EMU in 2006 after a standout softball career at Siena Heights. Then she was awarded a graduate scholarship at that point to Eastern Michigan and the foundation, where she worked in the athletic department assisting with development strategies. In 2008, Jessica graduated from Eastern Michigan with her Master of Science degree and became Assistant Development Director for Advancement Activities, where she served for 8 years. Currently, Jessica works as the Director of Engagement and Outreach with E-Club members and the Alumni chapter. Jessica's service to EMU has been immeasurable, and she continues to be a valuable member of the Eastern Michigan family. Ladies and gentlemen, Jessica Net-Ziba.
All right, I have some remarks prepared. You know, I had some coworkers read it and they told me I needed to memorize it, and I was like, I'm not sure I can memorize all this. So first, let me start by saying I'm so honored to be receiving the Ron Ostrike Distinguished Service Award tonight. To be in a group with Coach O himself and the other EMU greats who have received this award is absolutely humbling and unimaginable. When the E-Club selected me and told me they wanted me to receive this award, I really was speechless, and that does not happen very often. You see, I had the opportunity to meet Coach O one time before his health declined, and at the time I did not realize his significance at EMU. Over the years, with working with the E-Club board and other former student athletes, I heard story after story after story about Coach O himself and the impact that they made on their lives. Coach O represented all the good in athletics: honesty, integrity. He had a deep caring for student athletes and a tremendous passion for life, sports, and EMU itself. Coach O is an EMU legend, and if you were fortunate enough to have been around during his 50-year commitment to EMU, I know you have a story of Coach O impacting your life as well. So to the E-Club board, past and present, Ed, Robin, Melissa, Angie, Howard, Eric, Streets, Hildred, Jean, and Ken, you have passed down to me that same passion Coach O had and have made a tremendous impact on my life here at EMU. You have shown me what integrity, loyalty, and pride really mean in your university, and your commitment and dedication to EMU is remarkable. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you for being my inspiration, just like Coach O. Also, thank you to my family. My mom and my brother are here with me today, and for the built-in support system. I'm grateful that God gave them to me, because without my family, I really have nothing. Lastly, thank you to EMU Athletics and Eastern Michigan University. You've allowed me to grow professionally into the person I am today. The past 13 years have been the best. I love the relationships I've made here at EMU, what EMU stands for, and the opportunity that exists here. I can only hope that I'm fortunate enough to have many, many, many more years here at EMU. So thank you.
Congratulations, Jessica. I also want to recognize a former Hall of Famer in the class of 2014 that's joined us tonight. Please welcome Boaz Chiboyu, who also was a Hall of Famer, was not mentioned earlier. Welcome. Track and field, cross country, all America. All right. Our first Hall of Fame inductee of the day is men's track and field star Mike Shaker Calhoun. Please roll the tape on Mike.
Mike Shaker Calhoun, class of 1986, is one of the most decorated athletes in Eastern Michigan history as a member of the men's track and field team. Over his EMU career, Mike won 5 Mid-American Conference Indoor Championships and 5 MAC Outdoor Championship titles. He's also stamped his name in the EMU record books, placing himself top 10 in the 400 meters, 300 meter dash, 200 meter dash, and several different 1600 meter relay teams. Mike's individual MAC championship accolades include back-to-back 600-yard dash titles in 1982 and 1983, and along with 400-meter dash titles in 1984 and 1985. Mike was an influential part of many relay teams. His 1983 distance medley relay team holds the EMU outdoor record at 9 minutes 35.88 seconds. The 1600-meter relay team he was part of won the MAC Indoor Championship titles in 1983 and 1985. In the outdoor season, they won 4 consecutive 1600-meter relay titles from 1982 to 1985. On the NCAA level, Mike earned All-American honors in 1982 as a part of the indoor distance medley relay team. 2 years later in 1984, with his help, that same medley relay team would break the indoor record at the Western Michigan Relays with a time of 3 minutes and 18.94 seconds. This is still an EMU program record and world indoor collegiate standard today. With a distinguished and record-setting EMU career, Mike Shaker Calhoun joins the ranks as a new member of the E-Club Athletic Hall of Fame.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mike Shaker Calhoun.
Top that. Well, first, my name is Charles Michael Calhoun. But to my friends at Eastern Michigan, my teammates, fraternity brothers, my coaching staff, I'm best known by my nickname of Shaker. Good evening to everyone, my family, my wife Darlene, my daughter Brittany, my daughter Taylor, my daughter Haley, my mom, my father-in-law, my brother, and my twins who are currently in school at Johnson C. Smith University in Charlotte, North Carolina, Sydney and Charles Matthew. Like I said, good evening to all my teammates, the other honorees, my fraternity brothers, friends from far and near. For all of you who know me, I have never been about the recognition that the committee has deemed that I deserve. I am both honored and humbled to receive this recognition and will forever be memorialized among some of the best student athletes at Eastern Michigan University. First, I'd like to thank God for uniting my mom and dad. Although my dad is not with us tonight, he's not here physically, but I know he is smiling down. On me tonight. Mom and Dad taught me respect and to always be humble in winning and losing. They said sometimes you do your best, but that might not be enough, but to never give up. My senior year in high school, I knew I did not want to go to school in Ohio. Go figure. But as a family, my mom, my dad, and myself planned a trip to EMU for a campus visit. It was my mom who set up the visit, and unbeknownst to her, it was on the same day as the biggest indoor track meet in the state, the Huron Relays. So after getting things in order to at least walk the campus and watch the track meet, we decided to see if we could at least meet the track coach. So at 11 o'clock at night, a message was given to Coach Parks that an athlete from Ohio would like to meet him. Upon meeting Coach Parks, I told him I was from Ohio, that I wanted to run on this track team, and I was already enrolled in school. And he said, okay, great, we'd like to have you. So we commenced talking about the events that I ran, and I also mentioned to him that I was a state championship hockey player. That really raised an eyebrow. But all in all, he did say they would keep an eye on me. That put the biggest smile on my face, knowing that I could contribute to his team. This campus was a perfect fit for me. My teammates became my extended family. They are and still some of the most genuine people that I do know. We ran hard, we played hard. We took pride in what we could do on the track, and our downtime was just as serious. I learned to play euchre on a 13-hour bus ride to Tennessee. Our distance runners, our shot putters and pole vaulters taught me a few other games of which I had to learn the rules really quickly. But all in all, we had fun, we took care of each other. Those are some of the most memorable memories I've had at Eastern Michigan. It was an honor running for Coach Parks, and a relationship that has developed over the years after an 11 o'clock meeting after a 12-hour track meet. And I also like to say thanks to a Coach Lohner, who was tough and fair and knew how to push me to get the best results. He pushed me in my classes and on the track. I thank them both for being in my college life. While at Eastern Michigan, I was able to experience the full gambit of college life. From being on my own, meeting new people with the same similar goals and wants, to pledging the oldest black fraternity, Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated. All of which I have no regrets on any of my experiences. I came to Eastern Michigan with a vision of being successful. My experiences here helped me grow my character and personality. This team taught me how to function through the highs and lows of life. I also learned how to have a support system with me. Today I am proud to say I've been coaching track at my former high school for 20 years, and I try to teach my athletes as Coach Parks and Coach Lohner taught me. At the end of our practices, we say the word DARC, D-A-R-C, which means discipline, accountability, responsibility, compete. I am currently a senior engineer at WVIZ TV 25 Idea Stream in Cleveland, Ohio, and proud to say that I have been there for 30 years. My wife and I are proud parents of 5 children, 4 beautiful daughters and 1 handsome son, who are all growing and flourishing in their own chosen sports. In closing, I'd like to say a few words from a poem that simplifies what this night means to me. The poem is Test of a Man. The test of a man is the fight that he makes, the grit that he daily shows, the way he stands upon his feet and takes life's numerous bumps and blows. Thank you for this amazing honor.
Congratulations, Mike. Our second inductee left her mark on the volleyball court. Please enjoy the video of Stacy Graham Carey.
Stacy Graham Carey, class of 1991, was one of the most dominant volleyball players to ever compete for the Green and White. After redshirting in 1987 and securing her footing as a student athlete at EMU, she began to flourish, earning 4 varsity letters from 1988 to 1991. During the 1990 season, this Allen Park, Michigan native had a breakout year for EMU and established herself as a leader on the team, pacing them in blocks with 165 and leading them in attack percentage. Stacy posted 50 solo blocks, which ranks 3rd in a single season at EMU. She also earned first team All Mid-American Conference honors, finished 2nd in the MAC in kills, and capped off the magical season with a team record of 30 wins and 5 losses and a trip to the Women's Invitational Championship, EMU's first and only appearance. Stacy's senior year, the 1991 season, proved just as successful with her tenacious dominance. In a match against Michigan on October 29th, Stacy recorded the 5th most aces during a single match in EMU history with 7. Stacy completed her last season with 29 solo blocks, 339 kills, 165 blocks, and 23 aces. With these great accomplishments, Stacy Graham Carey is taking her rightful place into the E-Club Athletic Hall of Fame.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Stacy Graham Carey.
Well, hello. First off, I'd like to congratulate all the other inductees this year. Congratulations. It's pretty darn exciting. I know firsthand. I would also like to thank my abundance of wonderful family and friends and supporters. You guys mean so much to me, and I can't believe how many of you were just willing to just come and spend this evening with us, so I truly appreciate it. I have both family on both sides, my side, my husband's side. I have my mom's side, my dad's side. I have my high school, actually junior high to high school, best friends. I have my old college volleyball teammate. I've got my brother and his whole family. I've got a coworker I used to work with. You know, my aunts and uncles. I'm truly blessed. And I'd also like to thank my family, my husband Matthew, and my two boys, Max and Jake. Why, when you bring up your kids, do you almost cry? Whew, all right. I'd also would really like to thank Britta. You did an amazing job. Thank you so much for everything. You were so easy to work with. I really appreciate it. And Robin Bond, I haven't seen her though. Is she here? She had knee replacement. So I want to thank her too, because she was the one who gave me the amazing phone call. I'd like to start with a quote. Dance like no one is watching, love like you've never been hurt, sing like no one is listening, and live like it's heaven on earth. Sounds kind of weird to hear that for a sports banquet probably, but you'll get it in a minute. I always kind of knew I was going to go to college. It was just something we talked about in our household. However, nobody expected it to be for volleyball. I was a gymnast. I'm just joking. I was a basketball player. I will never forget telling my dad was my coach all my life. And I remember talking to him, I'm like, Dad, I gotta tell you something, but I don't want you to get mad. And he's like, all right, what is it, Stace? And I'm like, I decided I'm gonna go to Eastern Michigan and play. He goes, all right, well, why would I get mad? I'm like, well, it's for the wrong sport. He goes, what do you mean? I'm like, well, it's for volleyball. And he goes, volleyball? Are they offering you any type of scholarship? I'm like, yeah, full ride. He goes, well, then it doesn't sound like the wrong sport to me. I said, yeah, you kind of got a point. So he was pretty excited. Frank Fernandes was the head coach of the year I started. However, Kim Barrington was truly my head coach. See, now I could get emotional. And I was her project. She was solely I was her sole responsibility, not her sole responsibility, but basically it was just her and me. She would just, and look at Kim, can you stand up? Because I'd love to give this a, she used to coach her for a long time, Kim Barrington. She had her hands full with me too, folks. We came for homecoming this past weekend, and one of our good friends even said, oh, if you ever want to know how to experience a college life, go to Stacy, because she knew how to experience a college life. And yeah, Kim got to deal with that, so thank you, Kim. But she did. She made me who I am. She actually is coaching at Siena Heights right now, and she got her game switched tonight so she could come and be here for me. So I really appreciate that. When I got recruited, it was obvious I didn't totally belong. I was a red shirt. I could hit the daylights out of the ball. However, there's this thing there's lines on the court, and when it hits the back wall, that's considered out. And that was probably 90% of my hits, but they were hard, people. All right. Kim and my teammates had so much patience with me and so much kindness, and thank God I could get a little silly because I think it saved me with them quite a bit. I remember asking Kim, I don't know how long ago it was, but, you know, Kim, why did you recruit me? Like, why do that? Why? And she said, well, she goes, I've had people ask me, did you really give Stacy Graham a full scholarship for volleyball? And she said, yeah. And they're like, what? And she's like, first of all, she's tall. You can't teach that. No, thank God. Secondly, she's got a great attitude. She's super coachable. And have you ever seen the girl dance? Oh, yeah. No, just kidding. Sorry. But when they, my brother is dying of embarrassment. Sorry, Jeff. But the way she saw it is, if she can move like that, I could teach her how to play this game because it's so much footwork and rhythm and moving. And so now you see why I used that quote of dance like no one is watching, because I had no clue she was watching. I actually was like, when did you see me dance? She's like, when the music played during warm-ups. I'm like, Stacy. Thank God, though. I won't lie, I've always had a pretty enchanted life. Things have always worked out really well for me. After college, I got a job teaching. I found an amazing husband. Took some work, but we got there. But I had my first son, and he was diagnosed with autism at an early age, and it rocked my world. It really did, as we can all imagine. However, I decided to look at the positive of all that stuff after going through some hardships with it, and I learned that he made me a much better person. He made me a much better teacher, and he made me a much better mother. And so since that time, I've really worked to find the positives I can find in life from all situations. That positive attribute has helped me because over the last few years, I've had a lot of ups and downs. In August of 2017, I was diagnosed with breast cancer. And that C word is one of the scariest words you'll ever hear. Needless to say, it rocked my world again. And so I fought through it. I was still able to teach through the whole thing, bald head and all. Thank God I had a wonderful class. I had this boy, I'll never forget him, Octavian. Miss Carrie, will you take your hat off? I'm like, Octavian, you've already seen me bald. Why do you gotta see it again? He goes, you just look so pretty without hair. And I'm like, okay, favorite student ever. And it was after that day I didn't wear my hat anymore, and it taught me, you know, I learned a lot by being on the stage in volleyball about just going out and being fearless. And that was a moment, it reminded me a lot. Another time it reminded me when I was giving birth to my 10-pounder back there, Max. I remember thinking, and this is no joke, if I could get through those off-season towel pushes, I can do this. I did it. Oh, sorry, breather. Sorry. After cancer, I discovered I wanted to find all the positives I could in it again, and I found so much stuff. I am blessed with an amazing tribe. My family, the love and support I have from them goes without saying. I live in an absolutely wonderful community. It brought me and my youngest son, Max, a lot closer. And I learned that you only get, you know, this one life to live, so live it the best you can, which goes to the other part of the quote, live life like it's heaven on earth. In 2019, it's been a mind-blowing year. I was diagnosed cancer-free. My oldest son graduated from high school on my 50th birthday. It gets better, folks. 2 weeks later, I retired. That's right, I finished all my years of teaching, and I am loving life right now. Another thing that happened, though, this past spring, summer, my mom was diagnosed with brain and esophageal cancer. And one thing that was totally beautiful that came out of this was 2 days beforehand, I got a phone call from Robin Bond. It was like July 1st, I think, or July 1st. And I was told I was being inducted, and I was so excited. And I will never forget walking into my mom going, oh yeah, guess who's being inducted to Eastern's Hall of Fame? And she was so cute. She was like, I am. And I said, what do you think, you get in for birthing me? No. But I am. And she was so proud, and her eyes just lit up. 2 days later, she gained her wings and she joined my dad in heaven. But I'm blessed because I got to tell her. Sorry. Next person, stand further back. So I got to tell her that. So I truly feel blessed over that. And so this leads me to today, where I just want to thank all of you for being here and supporting your friends and family, and for at least laughing when I was being a dork. Thank you all so much.
Congratulations, Stacy. Also for dealing with her husband, Matt Carey, former college football teammate of mine, All-American left tackle. No wonder why the child was 10 pounds. All right, our next inductee is former All-American men's track and field multi-specialist, Mr. Morris G. Ellis. Let's roll the film on Morris.
Class of 1990, Morris Ellis was a leader of the men's track and field team and a 4-time letter winner. As a powerhouse multi, Ellis made his mark in the decathlon, heptathlon, and pentathlon events, winning 5 individual Mid-American Conference championship titles. In the MAC Indoor Championships, Ellis won back-to-back pentathlon titles in 1988 and 1989, and still holds the EMU school record. He ranks 10th in EMU history in the heptathlon with a point total of 4,951, set in 1988. In the decathlon, Ellis won 3 MAC outdoor titles in a row from 1987 to 1989. He held the school record with 7,510 points from 1990 until 2016. Ellis also earned NCAA Division I All-American honors in the decathlon in 1989. During his time on the team, Ellis not only competed as a multi, but helped the team earn points in individual events on top of his already 5, 7, or even 10 event multi-meets. Outside of the multi category, Ellis is ranked in EMU's all-time outdoor list in 9 individual events. With his versatility to the team and championship career, Morris Ellis has earned his spot as a member of the E-Club Athletic Hall of Fame.
Ladies and gentlemen, Morris G. Ellis.
I'd like to thank everyone here, and congratulations to all the inductees. I was very fortunate that Eastern gave me the opportunity to attend this great university. Bob Parks, and later on, Coach LaPlante. I was the first to attend college in my family. I met my wife here. We had 2 children, Brittany And Brandon, he wasn't able to make it tonight because got out of it because they have a big game against the University of Florida next week, so I gave him a break so he can go. As you can see, if you go to the right university, it can change a lot in your life. I'd like to say thanks, and let's beat Western tomorrow. I don't think in my 4 years here we lost to them. So go green. Thank you.
Congratulations, Morris. Our fourth inductee was a nightmare for opposing quarterbacks. Please welcome NFL veteran Ron Fernandes. Please enjoy this video.
Ron Fernandes was a force to be reckoned with on the gridiron while donning the green and white from 1970 to 1972. After being a standout athlete at Ypsilanti High School, he stepped onto EMU's campus as a freshman and never looked back. In his sophomore season, Ron proved himself, earning a starting role on the defensive line. He would anchor a D-line that held opponents to an average of under 11 points per game, including 4 shutouts. Ron would continue his breakout years shining in the 1971 Pioneer Bowl with 9 tackles and 2 pass deflections. In his junior season, he would evolve into a star player, recording 62 tackles and 2 blocked punts. In the last season with EMU, Ron led the team with 101 tackles, recording 47 as the lone attacker, finishing his EMU career with a total of 219 tackles and 5 fumble recoveries. In 1973, Ron was selected by the Miami Dolphins in the 10th round of the NFL Draft, becoming the 10th player in EMU history to be drafted by the NFL. Ron went on to play for the New England Patriots, followed by the Detroit Wheels of the World Football League, before returning home to coach the EMU freshman team for 1 season. In 1976, Ron would return to the NFL to play for the Baltimore Colts, Washington Federals, and then would retire with the New Jersey Generals in 1983 for a total of 9 years in the professional ranks. With an outstanding career and a true example of Eastern Michigan pride, Ron Fernandes is taking his place in the E-Club Athletic Hall of Fame.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise. Let's play this on to Ron Fernandes.
Well, I'm truly honored to be here. This is probably the greatest thing that's happened to me in my athletic career. And behind the birth of my 2 children, it's the greatest honor I've ever had. 52 years ago, I came to Ypsilanti. I spent my last 2 years at Ypsi High. Was lucky enough to come to Eastern Michigan as a 17-year-old freshman. And I got involved with a group of men who changed my life, and I want to say changed the life of a lot of people here at Eastern. I think that we started a tradition of good football, tough, and some of the things we accomplished are as good as any team in the history of this school has done. I thank you so much for this honor. Thanks very much.
Congratulations, Ron. Our final honoree is regarded as one of the best wide receivers in EMU history, an NFL veteran receiver, Kevin Walter. Please roll the film on Kevin.
Kevin Walter is one of the greatest wide receivers to step on the field in Rynearson Stadium. With his great hands and blazing speed, he would go on to have a record-setting career while at EMU. Kevin made a name for himself in his sophomore season with 55 receptions for 721 yards and 5 touchdowns. He would also have a stellar junior season with 62 receptions for 748 yards, earning all Mid-American Conference honors. However, his senior season would firmly plant him in the record books and help him to develop into an NFL caliber receiver. In his senior season, he would set the single season and career records in receptions and receiving yards, and also career receiving touchdowns. He also had one of the most prolific games against Akron with 9 receptions for 225 yards. His efforts would earn him another All-MAC honor, as well as EMU's most valuable player. After leaving EMU, he entered into the 2003 NFL Draft and was picked in the 7th round by the New York Giants. He would spend 11 years in the NFL, including a highlight season in 2008 as the Houston Texans' #1 receiver, racking up 899 yards. With an illustrious career, it is without a doubt that Kevin Walter is taking his rightful place in the E-Club Athletic Hall of Fame.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Kevin Walter.
That first picture I saw, it looked like I dropped the ball up. I know we can edit that one out. But congratulations to all the inductees. This is a true honor for me and my family to be here tonight. This is very special. I want to thank everyone here at Eastern who thought of me when selecting this year's class. I appreciate it more than you know. I had such a great time here at Eastern. EMU has changed my life for many reasons. Not only did I get a chance to play college football at a high level, but I got a chance to get a great education and was able to create so many memories with so many great people. I had many great coaches growing up. One coach I want to thank is my high school coach, Randy Kuzieski. He pushed me hard. I definitely was a knucklehead, and he straightened me out, so thanks, Coach Kuz. I had many great coaches and teammates here at Eastern. I remember all the hard work we put in together in the early morning workouts at Bowen Fieldhouse. I remember playing on the road all over the MAC. I remember all the incredible games here we had at Rynearson Stadium, so many good ones. We had so many good teammates. We all worked hard for each other, and we had a lot of fun doing it. I'd like to name a few of my teammates: Kenny Christian, Jeff Crooks, Mike Luna, David Lusky, Carson Dock, Walter Church, Jerry Brown, Mike Salvatore, Matt Kelly, Lloyd Wilson. But I also want to mention 3 other guys that made an impact on me while I was here, who are no longer with us. All great men, all great fathers. Troy Edwards, my freshman college roommate from Pekin, Illinois, and our quarterback. Jamie Manor, defensive back from Las Vegas, and head coach Rick Rasnick from Torrance, California. He was responsible for recruiting me here. These guys are truly missed and will never be forgotten. I'm forever grateful for the friendships and relationships we had. So being born and raised in the northern suburbs of Chicago was great. I loved it. But looking back, I live in Texas now. It was cold, really cold. So my mom and dad were originally from Bay City, Michigan. They moved to Illinois before I was born. I have an older brother, Ryan, and a younger sister, Megan. We were an active bunch, to say the least, always keeping my parents on our toes. Now I kind of know how they feel, because I got 3 kids of my own, and it's nonstop. They keep me on my toes, too. I want to thank my brother and sister for all the great times we had growing up. I always wanted to play with my older brother. He was 6 years older, and when I had a chance to play some football with him, he definitely beat me up pretty good. And I thank him for that because I think in the long run that made me tougher. Megan is my younger sister. I want to thank her for all the great talks that we have and still have. Thank you for being such an awesome sister. I admire how hard you work and how much family means to you. Love you guys. My mom and dad, they were always there for me. My dad was on the chain gang for our high school football games. My mom was always there at pancake breakfast. They were always there to support me in all the sports that I did, and I played every sport. They both worked extremely hard for my brother, sister, and I. So quick story, just about my dad, my mom. My dad's company transferred him down to Michigan City, Indiana, which from where I grew up was about 2.5 hours one way. So one weekend, my family, we went down to Michigan City to look to buy a house because he was getting transferred. I remember swimming in some random guy's pool that day, and that's one of the houses we were looking at. So looking back, I think that was definitely strange, but I guess you're going to do whatever it takes to sell your house. So we swam away. My dad ultimately took the job, but my parents wanted us to stay home in Illinois because the schools were better, and they didn't want to leave. They didn't want us to leave our friends. As a family, we definitely had a better situation there. I'm saying this all because growing up, I understood the sacrifices my parents were making for our family. It was always family first and what was best for us kids. So my dad drove 5 hours a day to and from work to make a living for our family, while my mom had a full-time job and had a lot of extra responsibilities with us kids. In my opinion, that's some work ethic. It always stood with me and continues to. People might have taken the easy way out, just because it was more convenient. They could have moved, and it would have been easier on them, but my parents didn't. So when I was playing football and things got tough, it was hot, I was tired, I wanted to quit, I always thought of that example, and it pushed me to work even harder. In the end of the day, it's a choice to work hard or not. I didn't want to let the people down who counted on me, my coaches, my teammates, my families, my friends. All I wanted to do was make them proud. See, for me, it was never about me. It was about working hard for others, being accountable, doing your best, controlling the things you can control, trying to be the hardest worker in the room, and treating people with respect. That's me in a nutshell. So Mom and Dad, thank you for not only telling me to work hard, but showing me how to work hard and always being there for us kids. Thank you for loving your grandkids like you do. We love you very much. I want to thank my in-laws and my sister-in-law, Bob, Carol, and Chrissy Gamba. We met here in the year 2000. For the first time meeting Caroline's family, I asked Caroline, I'm like, could we go to a restaurant that's pretty loud because I'm pretty nervous to meet them? And she said, okay. So we went over and had dinner over at Eagle Crest, the Marriott right over here at one of the restaurants. So we get there, and it was, I think we were the only table in the room. And I was thinking about it, I'm like, oh boy, I was seriously nervous about it. And actually, that's where we're staying right now, and we had dinner there yesterday, so pretty cool. After dinner, I thought to myself, there was nothing to be nervous about. They are such an incredible family. I want to thank you for all the love and support you've given me over the years and continue to. Thank you for loving our kids as much as you do. We all love you very much. Thank you. So one evening, I'm kind of going through family, and being here at Eastern had such a great time playing football. But this is where my life, it's not just started, but this is a big part of my life and where I am today. So one evening, my roommate Vince Naska, who was from Cleveland, we invited two girls over to watch the movie Perfect Storm. We figured it'd be good because Mark Wahlberg and George Clooney, all them were in it. We're like, cool. So we invited these two girls over, and one of the girls was Caroline Gamba. She was the prettiest girl I ever seen. I remember telling my parents the next day about her. I was so excited we had a chance to meet. I knew I had to try my best to be a gentleman so she would be my girlfriend. Thank God she felt the same about me. We had great times in Downing Hall. First I want to thank my grandma Sally for bailing me out of so many parking tickets. I parked so many. So if you can help me out with that again, please, maybe a refund would be great. So calling my parents probably wouldn't have been a good idea, so I secretly called my grandma, and she bailed me out of a lot of parking tickets. So I was always parking where I shouldn't have, in front of Downing Hall. So Grandma, thank you for that. I love you and I miss you. I truly believe everything happens for a reason. I didn't know too many people who came all the way from New Jersey to go to school to Eastern. I think us meeting was meant to be. We've been together nearly 20 years. We're married almost 13 years with 3 amazing kids, Sienna, 9, Vince, 7, and James, 4. And I know Vince, you want to come on up? He was begging me to come up on stage. And then James, you can come on up. I know Sienna, please come up, but I know she doesn't want to, but come on up. These are my two boys. So, all right, stand right here, though. Yeah, I still got to talk, okay? Like I said before, without EMU, my life would be completely different. I wouldn't be able to marry my dream girl. I wouldn't be, what's so funny? I would have 3 unbelievable children who bring me so much joy in life. Caroline, thank you for always being there for me. Thank you for keeping my head on straight. Thank you for loving me. And thank you for inspiring me to be a better man and a great father. How cool is this? We're back where it all started with us. I love you, babe. So a little George Strait. Living in Texas, I got used to some country music. So I was preparing this speech, and the song came on, and it really was fitting. I said, it's a George Strait quote. It's a song. Life's not the breath you take, but the moments that take your breath away. And really, standing up here this evening is exactly that. Seeing everyone here, seeing my family, my kids, my friends. I mean, that's what it's all about. This is truly special to me. I love playing football here. I love going to school here. I'm so grateful for the opportunities and experiences I had here. This has led me to the man I am today, like I said, and I'm extremely proud and honored to be an Eagle for life. Being inducted in this year's class is a true honor and something I'll never forget. In ending, I just want to, I remember going to Detroit with our head coach, Jeff Woodruff, for our MAC preseason conferences. Each team was allowed to bring one player. I was that player that year. And one of the questions from the media was, can you sing your school fight song? Bowling Green couldn't, Northern couldn't, Central Michigan couldn't, Western definitely couldn't. And I stood up proudly. I said, absolutely. Are you kidding me? So if you guys know it, please join in. Eastern Eagles, hats off to you. Fight, fight, fight for OEMU. Look to the sky, the Eagles will fly, the bravest will defy. Rah, 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 hold that line for old green and white. Sons and daughters, show your might, so fight, fight for OEMU and victory. Appreciate everyone.
That's awesome. Congratulations, Kevin. It's now time for the official induction. You believe it? We're here. And at this time, I ask that Scott Weatherby, Hildred Lewis, and the E-Club past president Howard Booth come up to the stage to assist with the presenting of the plaques. Mike Calhoun, please come to the stage to accept your Hall of Fame plaque. Stacy Carey, please come up and accept your Hall of Fame plaque. Ellis, please come to the stage to accept your Hall of Fame plaque, sir. Fernandes, please come to the stage to accept your Hall of Fame plaque. And come on back, Kevin Walter, to accept your Hall of Fame plaque, sir. Kevin got us going with a fight song singing. Now why don't we transition into part of the Hall of Fame tradition. So do the last step is the Eastern Alma Mater. So if you join me please in it. Eastern Sacred Alma Mater. To your name you shall be true. Ever marching on to victory. Congratulations, the 5 of you are now officially inducted into the E Club Athletic Hall of Fame. Hall of Fame plaques in 2019. Now listen, the Hall of Fame plaques are already displayed and hung in the Hall of Fame display hallway at the Convocation Center, so you can check that out. It's already up. It'll be an exciting part of tomorrow's festivities. I want to thank all of you for being witnesses here to this moment in Eastern Michigan history. We're excited to have these 5 new inductees into our Hall of Fame family. This concludes our ceremony tonight. Thank you for attending. Have a great night. So long, everybody.